No, I don't want anyone to come up and ask me to give you my definition of confidence and what's in between self-confidence and actual confidence. Let me see if I can explain this. You got a child that's out there training on the floor, and how many of you folks here do teaching, not just run a school, but raise your hand, do teaching so I'll get an idea of teachers. Sometimes you'll see this problem. You've got two kids or two adults, and you know that when those two people are sparring, there's a difference between what we call one's capabilities and one's intentions. That's true on the battlefield, this is true in the ring, and it's also true out there on the floor. What is the difference between your capabilities and one's intentions? Maybe you're watching these two people spar, and the one little kid is very apprehensive. He's very afraid. Now let's think a little bit about the difference between what is fear and what is anxiety. Anxiety is that anticipation, the expectation, okay, of something dreadful getting ready to happen. Fear is the actual confrontation with, here's the person with the knife. So walking down the alley, gee, this is spooky. Well, I'm not really afraid. That's called anxiety. Somebody jumps out in front of me with a knife. Boom! Now that's real fear. Does everybody see the difference? Now, maybe I pop, do him in, or maybe outrun him, or somebody comes up, the police car comes by, he takes off. In other words, the element of fear has now dissipated. It's removed itself. But I'm still feeling like that. Does everybody know what I'm saying? Now that's not fear, that's anxiety. Anxiety presupposes fear, and when the fear is gone, anxiety still remains. Now, being a confident person, we can learn how to deal with this. If I'm watching two kids spar, two adults, and I see that every time this person attacks, they have a little problem putting the heart into what they're doing. In other words, they've got good technique execution, what I call good technical capabilities, but the intention is not there. So every time you throw a punch, we want a couple things behind it, or when you throw a kick, we want a couple things behind it. Number one, when you step in, you want to put your weight behind it. We call that effort. That's the physical part of it, what I call the technical capability aspect. Then there's a language which each one of those techniques has. And that language is what I refer to as, what is your emotional intention? What am I trying to do to my opponent? Do I just want to tap them? Do I want to back them up? Do I want to sit that person down? And we refer to those aspects, we call this phenomenon, we call it substance. Substance is a combination of two things. Substance is a combination of effort, which is your physical part, which is the body weight, and it's also the emotional factor, which is what we call conviction. So I notice this child is not moving with total conviction because he's afraid of the expectation that, well, if I do score, now my instructor is going to expect me to always do that. And I have a reason not to do it because there's a built-in survival value. No one's going to expect anything of me. Or if I go in, maybe I'm going to look bad. Or maybe I'm going to get hit. See, all of those fears can produce a certain kind of anxiety and apprehensiveness within that child. So I say there's a lack of intention here. I need to get this person to move with more conviction. So when you go up and you make some type of prescription, I'm not going to tell you what the various prescriptions are, but let's say you work with a certain drill where you teach the child how to be a little more assertive, how to be a little more aggressive, how to move with a little more self-assurance. So now this child hears what I'm saying. He does the drill by executing the prescription the way I tell him. Now he notices, gee, not only am I no longer standing there getting popped, but I'm actually backing this other person up. When I'm backing this person up, I'm no longer getting popped. I'm no longer looking bad. That child feels a sense of efficacy. Efficacy basically means a sense of feeling effective with your own tools. What I'm talking about here is a tool of confidence. Because that child now feels a sense of efficacy because he believes in what you've told him works, he starts trusting in his own mind because it was his mind which told his body to do what you asked him to do. Does everybody see what I'm saying? And that basic sense, that newfound touch of efficacy, it tastes good, it feels good. And it allows him to feel a sense of trust. See, the efficacy creates the trust. And trust, folks, is the first building block of confidence. And to get a student to learn how to trust you, you must first teach him how to trust himself. And then that trust carries on to other aspects in the martial arts class, and then later it carries over, and that confidence, which is created by the trust, carries over to other aspects of his life, and that's why they make better grades. That's why they behave themselves better and morally at home.